is stopping my call.
Okay, they don't want you to say where you're streaming from.
Yeah, that's what I am.
Okay.
Outside, nimejaribu katakata, but I think they shouldn't call. Well, I'm calling from, I'm in Kisumu, I'm in Kenya.
Okay.
And I think my opinion is, my opinion to this topic is not very popular. It's a discussion we are not ready to.
Tell that person now what you uongee kuhusu black tax, you know. Hey, Face, maybe you saw that issue with someone calling. Maybe you pick it, maybe it's urgent, then you can just come back. There's no hurry.
Okay, let me call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're just here. Thanks.
Okay.
All right. So, Jewel, have you faced any issue with black tax before? And black tax can be in so many angles. The way Riziki has explained it. Black tax could be your parents over-dependent on you. And this issue of us, the mentality of I'm having kids so that they can come and help us in future. As a housemate, don't agree. Don't ever have kids as a source of, liability or as a source of income. It's okay to help our parents. I do help my mom extensively and I don't complain about it. But I appreciate my mom has never felt like it is my obligation to help her. She has never put it like it's my obligation, but I help her where I can. But I've said there's a friend of mine who is in the diaspora. She just landed and she had really invested so much. I don't know, with chicken, I think poultry. She just came in and realized nothing was being done. She has sunk into depression because I've realized she was saying that she has used over, I think, 20 million, but nothing. The picture she was being sent were just fallacy. Nothing was going on. She's depressed. And so many people are in Gulf. So many people are in the diaspora. So many people are working hard to just send money at home so that their parents can really help them to invest. And even many people have even gone out of this country of Kenya, because I understand most of us are Kenyans, to just go and find something for themselves. But they end up investing more on their parents, not on themselves, I know this is a very sensitive discussion. Not many people want to talk about it, but it is happening. Like today in Twitter, Riziki, I just saw people in the diaspora happy that Safaricom has done that because they're not going to send money at home. They're happy that they'll use this excuse that the app is not working, so it's not favoring them, because so many people are stressed. So many people are crying in the Gulf. Their parents are frustrating them because they have been put as a lab. They have been put as an asset. Parents are just expecting so much from their especially firstborn children. That is a conversation not many people are having already. People are educating their siblings and no one is complaining about it. You're married to a breadwinner. They cannot even sustain that family because that person is busy educating his siblings. And I'm here asking, is it really worth it? Because I believe right now, if you're gonna have kids, because we are now starting new generation, are we gonna put them as assets? Are we gonna expect that I'm gonna have 3 kids and my kid is gonna build a house for me? Especially this thing, building a house for your parents. For me as a host, it is not your responsibility. You can do it, yes. If you have enough, it is good to help your parents. I do not have an issue. But this thing of people are scared to show where they are coming from because they're afraid they'll be judged. Someone will be like, oh, Jewel, you look so good in your profile. Why don't your parents have a good house? And you're like, is that your responsibility? Where were your parents to build that house in their times? So a lot of people are not investing in themselves because a lot of money is going to their parents. Others even have started families like men, and they cannot even provide 100% to their families because most of they're educating siblings. Oh, the mother is, I don't know what. They are also helping at home. I don't know, there is a farm, they are paying workers. I know of a relative who the husband, when you go to their houses, it's full of relatives, cousins, I don't know what. This relative complains to me every single day. I even told her one day, if you feel tired, just walk out, you can't just force yourself, because she's there, the husband is the one educating those siblings, I mean those relatives, the cousins and everything. Sometimes they lack even food, basic needs, because this husband has overly invested on the family. And we cannot really blame them, because we have been brought up in this Africans, especially people from Africa, that, it is your responsibility to take care of your parents. So if you don't do it, especially if you live well, the way Riziki was explaining, if you live well and your parents probably are not living that life, people will castigate you. They'll be like, oh, you're just here in Nairobi, or you're just there in Germany eating well and your parents don't have this. You're like, your parents had the time. So this black tax has been imposed, and people are even committing. I remember someone said she feels like committing suicide because of the stress the parents are impacting on them. The over expectations. Imagine you've just gotten a job, your first salary, and you're being asked to educate your sibling, yet even you yourself, you don't have a child. You don't have a child, but someone is telling you to educate your sibling, So that is why even some people are even scared of having children, because of the, of the trauma they have gone through. You've just gotten your first job, and you're being given someone to educate, someone in a kindergarten or high school, and you're being told that is your responsibility. So how are you going to have even this nerve to have another child, yet you've already tasted the parenthood as a child? Some people have not even gone through the childhood process. They have not even experienced their childhood, because when they were like 4 or 5 years, they already started taking care of their siblings. When they were even 10 years, they started taking care of their siblings. They never knew what being a child is. And that is a conversation not many people are willing to have, So these people are really facing through a lot because of our parents. I'm also a parent. I am a parent to an amazing boy, but I will never I'm just trying my best not to subject him to that. But this is what is happening. So thank you so much. I was just introducing the topic, and people can come in. Winnie Wachu, you're welcome. So the Jewel, do you have anything? Susan, sorry, let me just say hi to the new visitors, then I can go back to you. Daniel, hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
I hope tachanganisha Kiswahili na Kiingereza.
No problem.
I'm not really fluent in either of them. I'm glad. I'm not really that outspoken, but nimefika hapa, and it's a privilege nikapata topic inaendelea, the kind of stuff that we are going through, especially these things among us millennials, our parents. I personally am somewhere, one of these Gulf countries, that since I stepped in here, my SIM cards are not active. And I don't know why, but I never downloaded my bank app or something. So this country is really limited. So nimemaliza mwaka. The reason why actually I've just come to rant and just let it out, because siku rahisi. So I trusted my parent. I won't say it's dad or mom, but my parent, and it was like when I receive my salary, I give them a breakdown, and it's like, because hao ndo wako na watoto, upkeep is this, school fees is this, and the little that is remaining, please find a deposit it on my bank account. And this is a parent, unaamua kumwamini, and you're like, your parent cannot do this to you. Okay, I've heard these stories and all that, but I'm like, no, all my life, you've lived with your parents, you understand where you're coming from, they will never do this to you. So all of a sudden, something is just telling me, so it's the end of the year. How about, it's not easy, but tell a sibling of yours and a bank, if by any chance it will be possible, whatever question will be required, call, but you need a mini bank statement. Shock on me. Shock on me. And I'm talking from that point, I'm so angry. I'm not bitter. I think I'm just so angry. Juu unauliza mzazi, hivi ndo nilikuambia, mbona haukufanya? And me, I don't even have a problem with the rest of what they do. Mimi yangu ni that portion of mine. I made it upon myself, like if I'm earning salary like 100%, imagine I was so selfless, I'm like, only this 30%. This 30% put for me in that account, so that the 70% can take care of the kids, take care of the school, take care of upkeep and everything. So this 30% pia, haiko, na kama iko ni kiwango ambacho hata hai make sense. It has reached a point nilikasirika, nikasema kama ni kwa sababu ya hao watoto imetuma umenifanyia hivi. For a man that I've not spoken with for over 6 years, who is the father of my kids, hata sijui where they are right now, but niliwaambia, if my kids are the reason you did this to me, ship them to Siaya. I don't care, because ni baba yao. I wanna believe you will take care of them and step up something he has not done for years. So hii mambo ya black tax iko, but I want to encourage parents. Mimi nasemanga nilisaidia, not expecting anything in return, and I did it out of not obligation, but ile tu nonanga, being there for your parent, like being an appreciative in a way. But they nona wamenirudisha like a whole year nyuma, so you're like maybe hata sijui wazazi wanatakanga nini. So me, I've grown up understanding. You see, our kids now, they're going to be the new generation. There's the Gen Z, and then there is this one, Alpha who something, Gen Alpha or something. Mimi hata sitakaa chini niseme ati my kids will do this for me. We are heading in a generation where these kids will not want to sikia stories za black task. Ni sisi tu millennials tumebaki tumebeba hii mzigo. Huko mbeleni, none of them will want to hear any of these things. So it's upon ourselves. As a lady, I was like, nijijenge sahi, build something for myself right now. By the time I'm of age, 50s, 60s, I have something of my own, even if it's the farming, if it's the poetry, if it's education, go back to school, do something for yourself. But look, mtu unaita mzazi ndo anakurudisha nyuma in a way like, yani, me akikai. I don't know if I'll ever heal. People keep on saying ati hujakatwa mikono, hujakatwa miguu, and others are like, we've gone through this and we've gone through it, but you keep on asking why would your own parent do this to you? Haujamnyima. But ile kidogo, I said 100%, I only take 30. This 70 bado iko kwa mkono yake, but still ako ka 30 bado amenivuruga nayo. Right now it's 4 months down the line. I've blocked them. Aki, mimi pewe tu time yangu. And the funny thing is, I've told you I'm in one of these Gulf countries. Na kitu mimi naogopa ni kusema ati boss ananipatia mshahara nikae nayo. One thing I've come to learn about these people, watu ni kigeugeu. Watu wanaweza kugeuka anytime, and you can be told pack and go. And wanaweza chukua hiyo mshahara wanakupatia tena waseme umeiba. Imagine at this point, a total stranger is the one that nakaa chini, nimepeana ID yake na details ndio natumia. This person is like, mimi nipee tu ya chai. Imagine, this someone just telling me chai. So I'm like, from that salary, this 2,000 bob nampatia, anashukuru sana. But by the end of the day, this person is going to the bank, depositing my money, showing me messages, showing me receipts, and I'm even talking to the bank teller and everything just to make sure that everything is ordered. Something that I would have trusted my family to do for me. But these people are suckers. I don't know if I'm going home or I'll be going to my friend, but as I'm seated here, try help me to. I wanna let it go. I want to let it go, but I don't know how. I don't know where to start, and I'm so mad. I'm so angry. Hata nikitoka hapa naenda wapi? Because nilikuwa naenda nyumbani wapi? These people who do, mtu anakurudisha nyuma, and I don't think they care, because I asked the questions. Hii pesa iko wapi? Mzazi anakuambia tulikuwekea. Sasa tulikuwekea as in a bank statement inaonyesha something different. If any of you has ever gone through anything like that, please enlighten me, because I'm in a place like, and I don't even know where my kids are. And even if they are okay or not, I don't know. I'll know when I get home. Thank you. Thank you for this platform. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Susan. And thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sending you the love and hugs. It is not you alone. You've just heard what Riziki has said. And for those who are joining, today we're talking about black tax. Is it a responsibility or a burden? We're not here to judge parents, because I am also a parent and I also have a parent. And I also send money at home and I do not feel bad about it. But we're just talking here the real thing, because there are parents who are oppressors. Let's just be realistic. And it is time we call this out. You know, they're amazing parents. They are. I have an amazing mom who understands when I don't have. We also have parents who are really even helping their children. But we are talking about these parents who expect you to go overboard. Some are even going to these Gulf countries to help their own parents, yet themselves, they have not established themselves. There are men who are married. They cannot even keep their families well because they have been given responsibilities to educate their own siblings. Yet even them, they have their own kids. They can't even afford. It's too much for them. So that is what we are talking about. We are not here to judge any parents, because the Bible says we have to obey our parents so that we can live long. So I'm sticking to that, as long as we are respectful and we are not using abusing words to our dear parents. But we're just calling out some certain actions that do not sit well with us. Thank you. So let me go to Daniel, then Winnie, then you can go back to the rest. Daniel, hi.
All right. Okay. Let me just say, I hope you're all good.
Yes.
And also good by God's grace. There's something Susan said. I feel for her, but there's some things we just need to understand, that sometimes, yes, our parents can overstretch us, but still we need to, at some point, try to see how to maneuver all that, because, but just don't usikuwe like okay, usiache chenye unafanya chema, hivyo ndo naweza nikakwambia, but ukae kama unaangalia kunaingia kiasi gani, na kama kuna means zenye unaweza do your banking just from where you are without depending on your parents, then I think that will be a good thing. Ile kingine ni kwamba mimi before I married
Daniel, let me cut you short. Nilikuwa nasema niko mahali I can't access banking. Unaona? So my boss has to send someone my salary. Actually, let me be straightforward. Niko Iraq.
Yeah.
Niko Iraq. So the only way to send money, it's either via Western Union or Dubai Remit. And this Dubai Remit, it works almost the same as Western Union, which means you have to send money, send details to someone, the amount and the secret pin so that they can go withdraw. That's when unafanya hiyo breakdown kwa panga. Unaona?
Okay.
Our agent never told us anything to do with the M-Pesa app. So by the time I was coming here, sikukuwa najua nafaa kukuwa na M-Pesa app. It would have been easy ningeka kwa M-Pesa and then mimi mwenyewe nifanye hiyo. Sasa hiyo kitu ndo imenirudisha nyuma to an extent that life no balance. And you know, coming here unaongea na mzazi, unawapanga, unawambia kila kitu. A year down the line, I'm zero, like nothing to show for it.
Okay, sorry for that. Na nikuulize, and when are you coming back to Kenya?
Yeah.
Okay, uko na muda gani? Kwa sababu sometimes you need to bear with the situation.
Contract is 2 years, which I'm done with. A year is gone, so this is the second year. So we are in April, so inamaanisha nimebakisha miezi minane, which kulingana vile kunaendanga, ukimaliza contract unatokanga hapa let's say 2 months before the end of your contract, which sasa tuseme tu niko na like only 6 months left.
Yeah.
Unaona, lakini sasa ile saving yote ya mwaka ulianza nao hamna, unaona.
Okay. Yeah.
And, na hakuna vile itakuja, mshahara ni ile, majukumu sasa unaona imebaki ni wanyime. So like I'm saying, kama ni watoto wangu ndio walituma wakanifanya hivyo, the last message was like ship them to their father. I'll come sort it out when I'm. So I don't know if they are at home, if they are at their father's place. I don't know, because I ended up like just blocking everybody. I'm now dealing with a total stranger who tends to be a friend, ndo natumia pesa yangu ananidepositia kwa account. Ni ile like najaribu nione kama nitarecover, but you know, as a mother I'm not at peace because my kids are somewhere. I don't know if they are lacking, I don't know if they are provided for, unaona. So let's say nilikuwa nasema nilikuwa at least na mwaka kwanza nimesave kitu hata kama 100k, napata niko na 20k peke yake. So najaribu nione like hizi miezi 4-5 nimewanyima, can I recover hata kama ni 80 ama hiyo 100k yenye nilipoteza hiyo mwaka iliyopita, unaona. But sina amani because of my children. I don't have peace. I don't know if they're in school, if they're eating properly. It's just too much.
Okay. Let me ask you this. How much?
Alafu, let's try and make it short so that everybody can have time. Let's have you paraphrase what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
If you trust that your friend enough, I think you can mnaweza fanya mnaweza saidiana kama unamtrust, mnaweza saidiana. But now mimi nakushauri wewe wafungulie simu, usiwafungie simu wewe tu, alafu watumie kile kidogo unaweza kuwatumia, usiwafungie tu simu, because these repercussions out of it. And so actually mi tu nakushauri hivyo tu, but kama yule rafiki yako unaweza mtrust, wewe endelea tu na kusaidiana na yeye, amina, endelea na kusaidia hivyo, ndo naweza nikakwambia. And the other thing nataka niseme, mimi nishai jaribu kuinvest.
Let's try speak in English. Someone is saying on inbox he's interested but can't understand what you are saying.
I just want to say that some parents are sometimes parents do overstretch us when it comes to actually what they think they owe us, yeah, and then you come and then people actually, you're given lots of the family responsibilities, like you are the mother, or rather you are the father, and therefore sometimes you end up actually in depression due to just the way that due to the weight of the matter. Therefore, what I just want to say is that just don't leave your parents, but I can say you can try to regulate on how, or rather just calculate on what you like to assist your parents with and what you want to be left with. I think that will help much, because even when they complain and you've given you them actually what you can or what you could, and still they are complaining, I think it will, if they try to, there's a scripture that says, no, a curse without a cause, actually it is not a curse, or rather it is not effective. So due to that, try just to calculate how much you like to assist your parents with, and then I think then also what you want to be left with. I think you will have balanced. and then you'll be in a better position. Yeah, just like
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Daniel, for that. Efes, I think you are here before. Can you please open your mic? Then Winnie can come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Efes, you just Winnie will speak after Winnie.
Thanks, Clara. I think this is a good topic. I'm in Kenya, in Kisumu specifically, and I'm a firstborn, and so I can speak from experience. I think one of the things is the black tax is actually worse if you are around, like you're on ground. Because while you're somewhere, you can probably avoid calls, or maybe decide whether you give or not. But it's sad if you're around and people can assess where you are. I think what I've adopted over time, I have kids, and one of the things that I'm hoping and praying for is that I train my kids or bring them up for them to have a good life and not for them to give back to me. I feel like parenting mindset needs to change because we bring up our kids and support them out of our responsibility because we brought them into this world. And that's a notion that it's very unpopular, but that's the reality. We bring them up so that they become better people for their own sake. Now, in terms of helping our parents and siblings and society, I am an advocate of helping out of responsibility, not out of coercion and a feeling of entitlement. It's a very unpopular thing, and I'm having it rough, but I think for the last 7 or so years, it has become a thing that people around me have understood. So one of the ways that I try doing it is that I do what we call empowerment. And I usually tell people that if I give you cash, then just know that I don't like you, or I'm sending you away. My way of doing it, which is unpopular, is set up somebody. So if this person keeps asking for money and they're old enough, I set up for you. Hey, what can you do with your own hands to earn money? If I have the money, I give it to you once, and then I set you up for a business or anything you can do. Then I tell you also, when you have the opportunity to grow, set up somebody else. Now, I've done the same thing with my siblings, and I'm doing the same thing with my siblings and my mother, and it's not very popular. You have it rough, to an extent that sometimes I made it clear to my sister that the only time she can call me is if it's an emergency. So she only calls come to when the child is sick or anything else, because it's a gone case. The other thing about us is combining our emotions with this, because I've heard the Bible being quoted and a bit of guilty tripping. I'm not a buyer of that, because the same Bible does not allow us to be extorted. So like I said, we only give out of responsibility, not out of coercion. But you don't have to quote to me the Bible saying that I should, if I don't help, I will be cast or something. That is not anywhere in the Bible. And Bible needs to be put into context. The societal pressure that we have, and this is what happens. You start by helping, because I've stayed a lot on the ground for a long time. You start by helping, and then our people are so mean. The more you help, the more they feel that you have. And the bad thing is, they will want to milk you until you're done, like to the lowest level. I've been conned severally, and my turning point was 7 years ago when because I was helping people around where I stay, trying to change home. When a young kid around grade 6 in the Kenyan system came to my car around 7:30 and actually said they have not eaten for 3 days and their mother is not able to support them, blah, blah, blah. And in my wisdom, I decided not to give him cash, but took the money that I had. My wife had given me some money, 3,000 shillings, and did shopping. When I went, I was like taking him home, so that I was like, instead of giving him cash, let me give you something that they will be able to survive it for some time. When I reached home, the first thing that slapped me was weird. I was slapped by a sweet aroma of chicken being cooked. Mind you, in my own house, I was not even cooking that chicken. It seems like it is something that even the mother was well aware of. Go and ask from people, and then bring so that we have abundance. So that was a turning point for me, and I was like, if I have to help you, it is an unpopular opinion, then let me empower you. I do that a lot, even with my siblings, even with my mother. Do you know that the time I did shopping for my mother, and because she feels entitled, the next day, she carries the entire shopping that I gave her, then gives to somebody else. Then 3 days later, she goes around and tells people the way I've left her hungry. You know, I was never bothered. I was never bothered. I was never moved. I told her, you know what, Mom, you're not working now, but I can open a shop for you close to home where you don't need to walk. She declines that and now decides now she'll be walking around with sweets and pin pop selling, so that the society looks at me because I'm driving and my mother is walking around in town selling sugar and pin pop. I was never moved because she was trying to shame me. She did that for some time, and then the whole society got to understand that, oh, this one is not a good one. She's just doing this to portray her son on the wrong side. She has come to her senses, and we are discussing this. Mind you, this is after I set up a home for us, because my dad died before setting up a home for my mother. My first responsibility, not coercion, was like, I need to set up somewhere called home for my mother, which is every woman's dream. So I did the responsibility that my dad ought to have done, build a nice house that the entire society knows, and still she had this thing of not appreciating, wanting to milk more. I stood my ground, and that is what I'm trying to advocate for now. People are dying out here. People are straining. People are feeling so bad because you feel like if you don't help them, then they quote the Bible for you and you feel that you are cursed. It is nowhere in the Bible, and I'm speaking as a Christian. It is nowhere in the Bible for you to be allowed to be extorted. That is something that they plant in our minds, but honestly, the Bible actually advocates for you to work hard and then earn from it. So me, I will have the means to set you up to work hard and earn from it. I lost my job last week, and I'm at home, and in the morning, the same people, they don't understand, because for them, as long as they see that your child is nicely dressed, you are still driving a car out of your saving, they want you, and someone will tell you, no, you are lying to us. You can't say you don't have money and you're driving. I'm like, should I crawl, or should I stop living, or should my wife be dirty so that we be equal? It is a wrong philosophy, and no one should feel guilty whenever you have your money and set up your priorities. Over.
Can I say something to add on to Nani?
Yes, please. Like you said, then we can welcome when you watch you. Then I think Coach Ken.
Okay. So I totally agree with Aface. I'm a Christian and I believe that I serve God. But even in the Bible it says God loves a cheerful giver. But if every time you're giving, you're trying to help, you're helping shingo pande, like you're bitter about it, then you're still sinning. You're still sinning. At the end of the day, you're still sinning. The same Bible says, children, respect your parents. But it also says, parents, when you continue with that verse, what does it say? It tells the parents, do not anger your children so that they sin. So at the end of the day, it's okay to help your parents, but they should not demand and be entitled to you helping them. Remember, they had their own time to build their wealth. Now it is your time to build your wealth. If you don't build your wealth because you're busy dealing with them and their needs, then you will end up in the cycle repeats itself. That cycle of poverty, it repeats itself, because what happens? Now even you're going to have children. You're not going to give them a good life. You're not going to make sure they have everything they need, because you're doing what? You're sorting out your relatives. And then what happens again? You end up old with nothing. You end up with nothing, and then now you start waiting, demanding, expecting the same from your children. I remember when I left Kenya, and I went to live abroad at some point, I saw there are two types of families. There's those the parents who are demanding everything from January to December from the children. And then there are those who told their children, you go, work, sort your life out first. Don't worry about us. And the ones that I saw their parents told them, go work, sort your life out first, they are the most successful right now. They were able to build themselves. They were able to be stable. And right now, even if the parent comes and asks, I speak about two people that I know of. As we speak, they have 4 houses. They've bought 4 houses in Australia. These are people I was in university with in Australia. They've bought 4 houses. Why? Because their parents told them, go work on yourself, go settle, study. Don't work to send us money. Work to sort your bills while you're there. And so these people, they were able to go and invest in themselves. And right now, they are the ones, you see the way people struggle to even get visas for their parents to come visit them abroad. These guys, it's just like a snap of a finger. It's not even a question. They're like, yeah, by the way, my mom is coming next week. I'm like, how? I sorted it out. Why? They have the resources to produce to the government and say, I want to invite my mom. Look at my bank statements. These are my investments, And so the parents are able to travel and come and they pay for everything. And even at home, when the parents are sick, you see someone is like, I don't trust the Kenyan health system. Let me pay for my parent to come and be treated here. Do you know how expensive it is to bring a foreigner to be treated in a Western country? And these people are able to do it. Why? Because their parents allowed them to grow. And that's why for me, it pains me, because I was part of that generation where I was forced and coerced and manipulated that I have to give. And as we speak right now, I am still struggling. I have my 2 children. And one thing I tell myself is I try to make sure my children, they work for themselves. I give them everything. And despite the fact that even if I am struggling and I'm abroad, I see the way my children are like, oh, mommy, when I become rich, I'll help you. And I'm like, no. When you become rich, help yourself first. Me, I'll be okay. You sort your life out. Invest in yourself. You don't need to worry about me. That is the mentality I'm putting in my children now. I don't want my children to end up like me, where we are swindled. Where we are taken advantage of by our parents, our relatives. And sorry, Clara, I'm finishing. Another thing we have to tell our children as parents, be honest about the relatives you have in your family. If you have brothers or siblings or cousins who are just con people, tell your children. Tell your children, oh, mommy doesn't talk to these people because they take advantage of you. So that when your children are all grown up, they don't repeat the cycle and they are swindled by the same relatives. Like for me, I had started. My mom never told me about her side of the family, the way ni wakora kidogo. So me, when I was looking for love and affection from relatives, that is how I was conned 1 million by a relative, sister mamangu. And the minute I threatened to take legal action, what did they threaten me? Oh, tutakuroga. So these are the things that we need to look at and actually call out the bullshit when it is there. If the parents are toxic and are manipulative, they're taking advantage of you, there's nothing wrong with you calling it out. Just say, I'm sorry. Let's stop sugarcoating all these things, because we've been sugarcoating with, you just have to help. Your parents are your parents. And then this lady who was speaking here, mwenye anasema she's in Iraq. Do you know how dangerous that country is? And she's there trying to sort her life out, and then someone is eating that money. Do you know how painful it is? Now when she goes back home and she has nothing and they kick her out, where is she gonna start? Because they've eaten everything. Let's call out it's painful. Let's call out that black tax, that painful part. It's okay for us to speak out about it and warn others. You never know. There could be parents listening down here. They're listening to us talking. There could be parents who are listening and they're like, hey? So this is what our children are going through and we don't know. It's okay for us to call it out, because at the end of the day, that is how we change the next generation. That's my submission.
Thank you so much, Riziki, for that, and I appreciate people are opening up on that. Thank you so much, Riziki. Winnie Wachu, welcome. The mic is yours. Oh, Bennett, just hold on, then I'll give you the mic. Thank you.
Hello guys, thank
Hello.
you. I really actually love this topic a lot, because I personally think that we need to understand it properly. Okay, this is my own perspective, because I've also grown up, I've also been brought up into this family setup. Thank God that my understanding of getting to really get into the books and understand this, it has really made my mom amekuwa receptive. So your parents can understand, but you really have to explain to them kidogo kidogo. It's like feeding them, like how the baby walks. So this is how I understand. I will break it into 3 layers, of which I know most of you probably know. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the intergenerational trauma, cultural conditioning, and now self-awareness. Okay, so in my own perspective, I feel like when it comes to intergenerational trauma, of which most of us do not really want to talk about this thing, is that the patterns we inherit from our parents or our caregivers. These are the patterns that we inherit from our parents or our caregivers, or it comes back to the patterns that our parents inherited from their parents. So this comes back to scarcity, struggle, responsibility from a really young age. You remember most of our parents, they really had to grow up at a really young age. So one thing you have to know is that their nervous system, how their brain has been wired, is it comes from that intergenerational trauma, okay? Which creates now a survival mindset for them. And now it's passed down. And also you can also pass it down to your children subconsciously, by the way, if you don't check these patterns. Now, let's go now to the cultural conditioning, the belief system that we grew up with. Like the things like the family obligation, the sacrifice, the idea of supporting your parents, it's not optional, you know. These are actually deeply rooted norms, not just individual choices, by the way. Now, black tax is not, me personally believe that black tax is not about money. It's psychological, it's deep. And a lot of what we experience as pressure from the parents, it's actually rooted in survival thinking, how now their brain imekuwa wired. And if you have done a little research of how our brains work, how our brain works, that's why utapata, you can comfortably wake up 5 a.m. If you're used to waking up 5 a.m. in the morning, even if you do not put on an alarm, subconsciously you will wake up, right? So you have to know that this thing is psychological, it's deep, huh? And the brain is wired to survive fast, not to thrive. So when someone grows up, especially in scarcity, instability, or financial struggle, the nervous system usually adapts to urgency. It learns that we are always together, we do it together. You know, even I remember one of the conversations I usually have with my mom, and then I was like, Mom, why do you have to give? You know, why do you have to give? And then she was like, you know, back then in your shows, your sisters for your shows, when they used to get married, they used to bring blankets. That's why when you go to the shows place, you see there are a lot of blankets and mattresses. You see things like that, because that is how their nervous system has been rewired. That is one thing first you have to understand. if you don't understand this thing, by the way, you will keep on blaming these people forever. You know, I am. Now, this now becomes now a pattern. You know, it's a pattern. Now, from what I believe is that that's why self-awareness for you. You, leave alone your parents, because self-awareness, it's a self, that's why it's called self. It's a self journey. You really have to get to understand what, like, you really have to understand that hizo patterns zote, like if you check the patterns in your life, how does it show up? Because it does show up. But the problem with us, most of us, is that we do not want to accept the reality of it. And these things usually show up like people pleasing, especially for us firstborn, especially people who pay for the black tax thingy. Kunakuanga that people pleasing, the guilty of not saying no, you know, difficulty, especially in setting up boundaries. So I just feel like we really need to get to understand ourselves first, and how we have been affected by how our parents' nervous system has been wired. Then first heal yourself. Because let me tell you, I'm saying this because this is me. This has been me teaching myself these things. And then I was like, why is it that when I'm asked for money, I feel that kapinch? Unanielewa? So, and then now I was like, hey, Ebu, let me get to write that family tree. Let me call it a family tree, and learn those intergenerational trauma. Then I heal it. Then when I heal it, I will create boundaries. If I say I don't have money, I do not have money. That's it. If you want to feel bad or say I'm bad or whatever you're going to say about me, the most important thing is that I have set my boundary, and that doesn't mean that I do not love you or I do not care. Because I came to an understanding that the reason why people get depression, especially when they are broke, is not because of how other people, like you, let's say, you people in the platform, are going to say, because you do not know me. The reason why people get into depression is because of how people who are close to you treat you. You get it? So first things first, to kuena your self-awareness. Then we get to heal our own traumas. Then if they really want to rewire their own nervous system, it's their own problem. But the first thing is that you really have to get to understand how it affects you first. And then you can set now boundaries. I think that's all I can say.
Thank you so much, Umiwaki, for those powerful insights. Okay, let's hear from, I think, is it Coach Ken or Uwabene? I don't know who came first. Okay. Uwabene, are you ready? Then Coach can say something.
Yeah, I may not talk much. We have Coach here, he will tell us quite a bit. But what I wanted to mention, it's not that I don't disagree with people. Everybody has their own experiences. For that lady in Iraq, I have been in all those Middle East countries struggling to make things work out. And so I understand where you are coming from. It's just unfortunate that perhaps your employer doesn't have structures in place where you can have your money remitted to your bank without necessarily having to use another person, and you can manage it online. It is quite unfortunate, because for my case during that time, I was able to disburse funds to whomever I feel just using my phone, online transacting with my bank. And so it's unfortunate if you do not have that kind of a facility. But having said that, again, I just wanted to react a little bit on parents, because I'm also aging, gracefully. I'm now 53, and I have kids who are now married. And what I wanted to say is, we are not all our parents, even ourselves. We may not be so blessed with the resources that you can be able to educate your kids and at the same time do things for you. And so to break that cycle, because sorry for that, the cycle of poverty is so complicated, and for parents that understand that if they want to break it, it may not start with them doing it for themselves, but it starts with them sacrificing their own to ensure that their kids do not experience what they experienced under the hands of their parents who did not have enough. And that spilled over to them not being able to perhaps build that modern house. I don't know whether this goes down well with everybody, but that is how I feel. If my dad was not able to build himself a nice house, it was because he was investing in me. Now that I have succeeded, he doesn't have to ask me for help. It's up to me to use my common sense, use that side mirror, and see where I am coming from. It was because of the sacrifices and prayers of those parents that now are so deserving that I made it. And therefore, out of my own intuition, inborn intuition, and perhaps the grace of God, I have to reward them in some way without mentioning, but they will feel I am appreciating their prayers and the investment they made in me. Me, I look at it as an insurance per se. Because when I'm paying, millions for my son or daughter to succeed, that million would have bought me a house, I have a good life, and he languishes without any education. That is my reasoning. But because I have sacrificed my happiness to make sure that my kid will not have problems ahead of him, he is under obligation, but I don't have to remind him that my mom and dad did quite a bit for me to be who I am. What can I do for them? It is a question you ask yourself as an individual. You lock yourself in a room, tap into your infinite intelligence, that small soft voice that speaks to you. Run with that message that you get. That is what will uncuff you from hizo pingu zenye uko nazo. You feel you have money, but you are not making it. Not that they cast you, but it is in the Bible. Even if people do not subscribe to the scriptures, me, I do. And that is a disclaimer. That's me. What the scriptures say, you don't follow it, you will be hurt. It is like the hands that break a pot eventually will also suffer, thirst. There is that saying that the hands that break the pot will eventually suffer thirst. And therefore, the pot we are talking about here is symbolic. That those parents that propelled you do not forget and negate their presence in your life at that point when you needed them, but you did not say it. But they did it for you when you never asked. Now that you can see and perceive right, can you just do what your mentor dictates and see what Mother Nature can do for you to transform your life? That is how you attract blessings, like one of us said. I may not have to say too much because we are many, but let us appreciate where we are coming from. If you have the means, do something for your parents. As far as investment is concerned, my friend, there is no job that you do that has no time allocated for you to go and use that money. Take your leave, go and structure your own development using your own brain. Do not use your parents, do not use your siblings, do not use your relatives to do your investments. You will be sorry. And I'm telling you from experience, I have lost quite a bit until I changed. That it is my money, I'm the one sweating. When it comes to investment, it doesn't matter how long it's gonna take before I come back home. I will invest at that time when I come personally, however expensive it shall be. I cannot steal from myself, but somebody else will. Thank you, stay blessed.
Thank you so much, Obiene.
as a host, I'll just add something shortly before I welcome Coach Ken. Okay, we might have been raised in very different school of thoughts, but for me, I just feel like whatever you're saying, it's like now you're advocating when we are giving birth, we are giving birth to investments. We're not giving, like nowadays, it's like parenting, it's about investment. But for me, I feel like parenting is a responsibility. We do not have to advocate, we are not giving birth so that our children can come and help us. By the way, I'm also a parent, and I'm speaking as a parent. I'm not educating my son so that he can come and build for me or do whatever. Yes, he can help me when he can, but not at an expense, like it's a responsibility. That is where we are going wrong. And people are sharing here that they have gone in the diaspora to go look for money so that they can be able to help themselves. But parents are oppressing them. They are making it seem like it is their responsibility for them to go there and look and help them. Yet we don't know what they are facing in those countries. People are depressed in those countries. Yet you're saying that it is actually your parents really invested, they sacrificed millions. I don't think we should put it as that. Even me right now, I'm paying school fees for my son. And honestly speaking, I know it's a big sacrifice, but he doesn't owe me that. I'm not putting it like an investment, like now I'm paying school fees for him, so he has to help me. How many siblings out here have been educated, they're not helping their parents? Me, I come from, we are 4 girls, and I'll be honest with you, not everyone is sending money at home, and they're doing well. So let me tell you something. If you have this notion of you're doing this for your child because they can come help you, trust me, you'll be shocked. Especially this current generation. This current generation do not want to hear about black tax. They don't want to hear about that because they have seen what us millennials we have gone through. Imagine now you're having a child. This child does not even understand what it means to be a child because they were already subjected to taking care of their kids when they're just small. Then they've transitioned into adulthood. They want to better their life because they came from a very humble background. Then you as a parent, you don't want to understand that this is your child who has already gone through so much as a child. They've faced poverty. You've subjected them to poverty, which is fine because you cannot really blame your parents for being poor. No one wishes to be in that position. They are just situational and they are temporary. I know we always leave home to change home, but to what expense? For me, I tell myself this: leave home to change yourself, not home, because those parents have already lived their life. You also have your own life. Because many people have left home, they want to build home. Yes, they are frustrated. They can't even afford basic needs. Those outside countries, we don't know what these people are being subjected to. We don't know the humiliations they are facing, the racism. But the parents keep on oppressing them and asking them for more money. People can't even build themselves because of this notion of this is your parent. You've heard the story of Ephes. In as much as Ephes is trying, the parents still looking for things to humiliate him. So for me, I think for us, if you're a parent, if you have kids, kindly do not educate your kids because you're seeing them as an investment. And that is why so many parents are cursing their children because they gave birth thinking this is an investment. So if it doesn't turn out the way they thought, they get angry. But they do not understand it is your responsibility. Even me, when I pay my son's school fees, I know it is my responsibility. When he doesn't do well in school, I just feel bad, but I do not caution him and tell him, I've used so much money on you because he did not ask to be born. I chose that line. I chose that path. No one forces you to have a child. You choose it. So when you choose to have that child, make sure you can take care of your responsibility. That is what we are trying to pull in today. I know back in the days it is different, but this generation, we are just pushing so that people can stop being depressed because of this black tax. People can stop going to different countries, coming back empty-handed because their parents have drained the hell out of them. Because parents think that is the investment. Because Riziki is in Germany or she's in UK or whatever, she has to send money at home because the father educated her. You're like, did you ask your father to educate you? No. That is why in Kenya, it is actually the law. It's a child's right to be educated. There's no compromise on that. If it was on compromise, it wouldn't be a law. So when you educate your child, for me as a parent, do not put it as an investment. If they come back to help you, it is fine, but not to the expense of their mental health. Not to the expense this child cannot meet their basic needs. So many men out here, I've dated someone who's subjected to black tax. I had to leave him because every time, the sister, the brother, I don't know, the mother, everything is on him just because he did his master's, he has a good job.
and that was his first job. You can imagine now you're married to such a person, because everything was in this person. School fees, it is him for the siblings. Food, he has to send money home. And the excuse the parents were putting is, I educated you. And I remember the mother once told me, you have to understand my son because I really invested on my son. And I'm like, what? This is your son who is trying also to make his own family. So why are you subjecting him to that yet? Even the mother is still also giving birth to smaller children and pushing to this man. So this is not fair for us parents. Let's allow children to be children. If they want to invest in us, it is okay, but do not oppress them. Thank you. That is my opinion. Coach Ken, you can come in.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing great.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
Okay, for those,
Welcome, Ken. How are you?
I'm good. For those who have had bad experience with their parents, hugs to you. May you find peace in your heart. And if there's an opportunity for you guys to reconcile, I pray that you both may take the advantage of that and reconcile. On the topic of the black tax, sometimes for me it's a little bit confusing, because sometimes I'm wondering, what is black tax? Is giving money back home? Is it bad to send money to your parents? Is it bad to educate your siblings? Or the bad side of it is whereby you are being told to deny yourself things that you need for the sake of other people? Then I'm also left with the question of, why do people come together to have kids? Is it for the purpose of building a family? Then if you guys have built a family, what's the importance of a family? Why do people work so hard to have a family? What's the importance? And so when you look at the African setting the way we are, like, people came together to start families so that one was because of labor, because they were farmers, and so the children were expected to go and farm. They were part of the labor that was needed in the family. So they would definitely go out to the shamba and plow and do whatever, and ikifika time ya kuvuna, they will come and they will vuna all of them. So we are in a new dispensation whereby family is not key anymore. The importance of family is no longer of a priority. We have moved to a life of individualism. And because some of our parents haven't understood that, we are having now these issues that we are talking about here. Because if you are still in the setup of family, then everyone will want to do the best for the family that they came from. And see how best they can, as siblings, as a family, father, mother, and children, how best can they create a generational wealth together, because there are families which are thriving on generational wealth. Hata kama tunasema wameiba. There are families which are still taking monies from a generation to the next generation. And if you're a Bible student, then you realize that they say a good man is one who lives in where to his children's children. So the family, like if you're coming from a family of Ken, the family of Ken needs to work together to build this wealth, because this wealth will be used by the generations to come, and the generations to come will still going to invest to ensure that this wealth never get depleted. So we lost that. And so parents have become individualistic, and the children also individualistic. Kila mtu anaongea juu ya life yake. But I'm always left with this question. After all is said and done, the beautiful home that mom and dad are craving for, it will one day be vacant. They will no longer be there. So we'll be living there. And after making all this money, one day Ken will not be there. So who's going to take those monies that have been working hard for? I always feel like in life, as much as we are making money, we have to always remember that this money we are making is not for us. We can only enjoy a bit of it. There are people who are coming next to use it. Either it's going to be your family or it's going to be the government. And so I hope people can go back to the foundation. The foundation was family, because people knew that they will leave this world. And the wealth that remains to the people who are under them. That's all what I can say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Coach, for that wisdom.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Jewel, do you have something to say, or we just go to Hilary?
Hey Clara, hey everyone.
Hey.
Actually, it's just what I can say. It's just a wow topic for everyone, and for me myself too. And what I'd like just to say concerning the black tax and our responsibility burden. You know, some parents are so different. Some are born to understand. Some are born to drain. And some are born to complain. Like actually, yes, it's parents' responsibility to cater for the child's needs until he's a fully grown lady or a man, for him or her to be independent on his or her own. But you know, for some parents, they can't understand the fact that
I think mzazi amepigia Jewel. Anyway, before Jewel comes back, Hilary, come in.
Hello.
Hi.
There's this thing that I have had over and over again of
I don't know if it's my network or it's yours. I can't hear you.
Myself that the reason as to why parents are giving birth to children.
Hilary, are you talking to us?
Am I audible?
No. There's a problem with your network. I don't know if you can just...
You hear me?
You are breaking all the time.
Can you hear me now?
Fanya hivi Hilary, anguka alafu upande tena.
Yeah. Your network has issues. Anyone else who has something to say as Hilary?
Can I be heard?
Can you drop and come back, Hilary? I can't hear you. Your network is really it's glitching.
Oops.
Can I say something, Clara?
Clara.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Yes, Jewel.
Kindly let me pick up this call. I'm coming back.
Okay. Yes, Efes, you were saying something.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring a reconnection. And I'm glad with what Coach has actually shared. And I want to bring a connection with what Owabene has said. I think one thing that is coming out clearly is responsibility. So we have out of responsibility That is a fact. What we're discussing here is black tax. Black tax now is the extortion bit of it, which has now become a thing for some of our parents, some of our siblings, and the society at large. And for me, what I see is, and I still maintain, if you bring up a child into this world, part of the responsibility you have as a parent is the well-being of that child to a level that they're independent, because they never knocked to be here. So I'm proud to be a parent to the level that my child is attaining a certain level of education and getting certain job. Now, if I train my child so well, then it is upon him or her to one day come into my life and do what he or she deems best. Not because I brought him to this world or not because I took him to school. It is out of the responsibility and the heart that he or she has. The other thing we are forgetting is you don't stop being a parent because your child is now independent financially and is able to make it. Good parents, I actually see my friends who have parents who still even support them financially, even though they can be able to do something financially. We have parents who are capable even to and I've had so many cases. I have a friend whose parents just decided to sponsor their wedding. Imagine him a responsibility as the guy, and he was able to, but the dad decided to say, no, you need to take care of something in future. For this one, let me take care of the wedding entirely. So it doesn't stop because now you are grown up, now you need to give me back. When you talk about extortion, or Bene, I'm speaking, for example, from my experience where you have this 20,000 shillings and you're struggling to do shopping for your family and your child to be in school. And then your mother here is giving you pressure. And funny enough, a week before that, you actually helped her in processing the benefits of your late father. And because you're now old enough, you decide not to even claim that. But she's still demanding that you need to do something for her, and she has about 800,000 in her account. So do you call that responsibility or extortion? Because she is more capable, and ideally Anafak will support, because I'm struggling even to do one or two things in my own place. But to the extent that now you are aware, you decide, no, this is her money and her husband, I won't claim anything, but you've helped her get the money. It just hit the account 800,000. And because you have 20,000, which you've done shopping for in your house and have to pay school fee, you still hear complaints somewhere else. So when you talk about black tax, that is what we are talking about. When I said for myself, when I first got my job, and immediately I figured out, you know what, for people to settle and to have peace, I think the best I can do for my mother is maybe to set up a home so that you don't stay in town. I was doing that out of responsibility, which ought to be my father's, and also for my own sake, so that my friends can come and visit me at a place called home. Everybody loved the place. It's a big house, you see. And that I was doing that out of compassion, and because I had the means. I didn't even have the pressure. So when I hear so many people going through depression because their mothers use, for example, me as an example, you see a face, build a mother, a house, you have not. It is not supposed to be that way. I built a house for my mother out of the and because I saw the need, I said that, you know what, indeed there's an opportunity cost that went into this. Yeah, but it should not be used as an example to give somebody else pressure. People are going through depression. Some actually have to get loans to be able to live that life that their parents want. It's a very clear distinction between being responsible and being extorted. You get, because now you are working, your mother decides not to. She has the means to live her life. So sometimes you don't even have to give. She has the money, akona pesa yake yote. But now he or she decides that, you know what, my son, because I educated you, Now you must give me money. Yet they have more than enough. They're even having an earning more than yourself as a son. Now that's what we're talking about. We are talking about the bit of being responsible. Over.
Thank you so much.
This gentleman has unpacked it the best way possible. He has drawn a clear distinction between extortion and responsibility. Thank you, gentlemen. Be blessed.
Oh, damn. Hilary, did you have I hope your network is okay. Do you have something to say? I'm just seeing you in the comment section.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to say. That I have heard severally, and I was also taught that in primary school, that among the responsibilities or the reasons that parents gave birth was that their children were supposed to help them with farming, and economic activities. And that has stuck with us, especially right now that we are talking about black tax. But they did not tell us about the other things that are not related to economy that made parents give birth, like just having children and having a family. Like a family unit had to have there had to be responsibilities, and when you look at them, you realize that they are tied to economy, and that is capitalistic in nature. You get. So as we all know that we were being raised, we were being taken to school so that we can be good tools in the hands of employers, again capitalists. So we should now start looking at the things that have been made normal or accepted information, like this one, that children's responsibilities, or the reason as to why parents were giving birth, was so that children can be their slaves, in quotes. Yeah. The other thing that I would like to respond to is that in my community, when someone was going to get married, a man, then it was the parents who are giving the cattle for the bride price. I hate calling it bride price because we are not buying. It is, I don't even know what that really does, but it is not bride price, because if you are doing the bride price, then it means you are buying that person. So calling it dowry makes much sense, but it was the parent who was giving that. So saying that it is the responsibility of the man getting married, this is continuity, and this person who is getting married will do the same to his children, and that is passing that to the next generation, giving the next generation a head start, you see. Yeah, but right now we are expected to work for some time before we can now start living. Like we can now start living. So those are the things I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Hilary. Thank you so much for that. I'm glad we are all learning something here, and I hope when we leave here we are left with something. We might not agree, all of us, but at least I am hopeful some sentiment, some contribution could be impactful. So yeah, let me welcome Phil. Phil, hi. You left. I think you didn't speak.
Yes, I
Welcome.
left where Ephes was talking about black tax,
Yeah,
and
we're still talking about it.
yes, we're still
Welcome,
talking about it.
Daniel. Yes, so I don't know if you're facing that, and a lot of people. Okay, people ask. Some are asking. I'm sure all of us we understand, but for those who are saying, "What is this black tax?" It is. I think it's just giving too much to your parents or your family at the expense of you, of your mental health, or maybe of the things you cannot afford. Maybe the things you cannot even meet your own basic needs. You're struggling. Yes. That is what you're really talking about. So, Phil, I don't know. Have you gone through that? Are you facing that? Or,
Yes,
yeah.
I have faced it in the worst scenarios where Ephes was saying they get to read the Bible for you, that if you don't help, you'll be cursed. I heard what Susan said. It was painful, and mine was difficult because when I was in the